A process or a workflow. Well, if it has, it's easy when it has a lot of spaces, and because that's when you have space. If it has a lot of if it has a lot of you got to put on it, well, that's when it's more difficult. It has a lot of text you have to put on it. That's when it's more difficult. Examples of how I've done that. Unfortunately, I can't show you because it's proprietary to my company. But conceptually, I can tell you that break it down by subject area and can each subject be its own slide? Or ask, can you print it in a greater by 8.5 by 11? Yes or no? Because a lot of these aren't even presentations. If it's a workflow diagram, you're going to be printing it out. So can I print it out in a larger piece of paper? And if so, then you can really demonstrate things. And you can change the dimensions of a PowerPoint to make it like 11 by 22, right? And you can still make it on PowerPoint. I do that exact same thing, right? Or you can do it, time-wise, only have a small month, or, each checkpoint gets its own slide, another checkpoint gets its own slide. Or you can shrink things and then have that in the background where you demonstrate a certain part of it as well. There's a lot of ways to do it. And the more complicated stuff is actually easier to do because there's less ways to do it. And because there's less ways to do something, there's less ways to screw it up. And you're not expected to make something pretty. Now, like, for example, if you went over here, like you went to this slide, I mean, there's some text here, but this is not an ungodly amount of text. So there's a lot of ways to screw this up, and you can tell this person really screwed it up, right? If you have something like this, and like, let's say this actually expands to the whole page, well, there's not many options there. So, like there's a standard format. And I guess if you add me on LinkedIn and you one-on-one talk to me about that scenario, guys, I'm more than happy for a one-on-one session. Although if you want something that's really detailed, you should pay for it. And me as a Wall Street Oasis mentor, because we got to give Patrick some money over there. So if you just want some quick advice, ask me. But if you guys want me to actually make a slide for you, pay for it, and then I will help you make a slide for work. And I won't tell anyone, so you won't get fired. So do it that way. But the more complex slides are easier because you have less options. So it's actually a good thing. But just keep these tools in mind.